Hi everybody and welcome to Kit Car Talks with Street Rod Jim. Hi everybody and welcome to the channel about kit cars and other car topics. If you like what you see, please hit the subscribe and notification buttons below and share with others on social media. So I was kind of joking originally in the beginning there. However, as I was joking about it, I was like, well, this would be kind of a cool series to have the, fireside chats next to the car and, give updates and stuff. But the reality is I've been like extremely exhausted and tired. And I was like, man, I really want to come out and kick ass on the car today. And then I was like, it'd be a lot easier to just sit in this chair and talk to the camera. So, like pushing off my duties of finishing this car with just kicking back. But anyways, it's been a really interesting process. I'm really excited how far I've gotten on this car. And, for those who have just kind of tuned in, if you go back to some of my really early videos, I talk about the journey of how I actually got here and what inspired me to even do this and how I found Factory 5 and things like that. And, a bunch of people have come to, see the car in person and kind of see what I'm doing. And a lot of them don't realize that, this is not just a regular kit car. This is a turnkey kit car, if you will, in the sense that most other kit car companies give you a body and then you source a frame from somewhere else, or maybe you can get the frame from them, but now you have to go figure out where the suspension is, and literally every single thing is you figuring it out. Where, don't get me wrong, there's a lot to figure out on this car, but it's a turnkey package set for your driveline, and it gets you 90% of the way there, possibly 100%, if you just do it stock, if you will. But of course, everybody wants to do a little bit of customization, make it their own thing. And so, I'm definitely pushing that edge of, I'm not putting a Ford engine, I'm putting an LS engine. And, it's really interesting. The comments that I've gotten has just been great. There's been a lot of positivity on the site, which is the way I like to keep it. But, there's been a few people like, well, you need to do your research because putting Chevys and blah, blah, blah. It's like, I've looked at the books. I've done the research. 90% of all hot rods, Ford hot rods, have a Ford chassis with a frickin' Chevy engine in it. That's just how it is. And it's nothing to be crazy about. It's just is what it is, and you can do whatever you want. That's the cool thing about this. I don't understand why people get all bent out of shape about certain things. We should all just be celebrating individuality and people choosing to do what they want to do on a car and build it the way they want to build it and have fun. So, that's kind of where I'm at with it. And, I chose an LS engine, mainly because it fits. I wanted a modern engine and it fits. Putting a Coyote in this car is like stuffing a pig. I mean, it's really, really tight, and there's a lot of modifications you have to do. And your heads are like barely touching the bars there. They're just so close. So one of my friends that I met in build school actually has a Coyote engine in his, and that's when I first saw it. And that's originally what I was going to do, is put a Coyote in. And when I saw that, I was just like, this thing's going to overheat in Arizona. There's just no room for air to move in this car. So put whatever engine you want in there. Have fun with it. Enjoy the process. Along the way, I've had a lot of trials and tribulations. I don't claim to be an expert in this area. However, I will say that once I get done with this car, I will have a lot of information that when I do a second car, it's going to be a lot easier. I'm going to have bigger ideas. I'm going to have faster ideas. And of course, with all the comments from people that are commenting on my videos, it's going to help me even, make that process even faster, because they give me other ideas that I didn't think about or I didn't know about. And it's a little difficult, tackling a project that you've never done before. And yes, I have resources and people to talk to, but I'm a context guy. I could spend a lot of time on the phone with somebody talking about stuff. And because I'm thinking about every single nuance of how that, approach is going to be taken. And I don't really like to weigh people down with that much information or that much, inquisitive talk, if you will. If someone's willing to give it to me, I'm totally, willing to take it. But it's just something that, over time and experience, you're going to learn these things. And this is my first time. And so I'm learning. But I think I'm doing it justice. I think I'm doing it right. I think one of the best examples of that is my, multiple lizard skin and my raptor tinted panels that I started doing. And it came out freaking flawless. I mean, it's really, really beautiful stuff. And, the only one I have done right now is underneath the tank because I needed to get the gas tank in. And it's just great. You got the black bars of the frame offset from the blue of the undercoating, which matches the brakes that you see here. And so, I mean, it's just, some of the stuff that I'm doing is just really, really coming out nice. And, every once in a while I get comments like, why are you spending so much time on this? It's like, because I'm trying to do it right. Maybe there's a more efficient way to do it, but it's not your time, it's my time. And I appreciate the comments, but, I want to do it right. I want to do it justice. I want it to look nice. So, I need to be happy with this. And slapping together is not something that I'm interested in doing. So I feel a little bit like a guinea pig because I'm working on version 2 33 Hot Rod. And, they don't necessarily like, here's version 1 and here's version 2. I kind of found out that they just kind of like change multiple parts within like 20 cars, if you will, to the point where, you're finally in version 2, but there's a lot of in-betweens. And I'm at, I believe, 1143 is my car. And another guy that I talk to a lot, Seth, he's done, I want to say it's 1133. So he's about 10, 11 cars before me. And, he has a full version too. So I think before that, it's kind of like this interim state. And so there's not many, we're like one of the first few guys to put an LS engine. He put a manual in, didn't have any clearance issues. I put an automatic in, I'm having major clearance issues. So I think I'm the first person to do an LS with an automatic transmission in a version 2 frame. And so when you're in these situations like this, you end up kind of pioneering some stuff with Factory 5 as they make modifications, change their manuals, resend out parts. Right now I had to do a lot of changes to the differential, not the differential itself, but the control arms that hold the differential, modifications, things like that. And now they're seeing that doesn't even work, and they have to, rechange and remodify and redesign the upper control arms, and then they'll send them out when they're ready, which is totally cool. No charge for something like that. But, I spent a lot of time modifying those control arms, sanding them, painting them, getting them ready, pimping them out, and now they don't work. They don't fit this car. So, I'm cool with that. The company's been very cool. Do I wish I was a little bit further along the way in the sense of their design work and me hopping into it? Sure, but I will say that the difference in the version 2 car compared to the version 1 car is so night and day with a bunch of nuances like insulation and how they're putting things together. The way your foot actually turns into the car as you're getting into the car. All these little nuances, how much room is inside the cabin. It's just night and day difference, and I'm so happy that I'm on this version 2 car. So another thing I wanted to let you guys know is, I'm a big research nut, and I've spent thousands of hours researching this car even before I actually bought the car. And I had everything figured out on paper of what I was going to buy, what headers I needed, what engine I was going to do, what computer system, and 99% of the time that stuff's all worked out pretty well. But what I'm doing is, if I've done all that research, I would love to pay that forward to someone else. And so that's kind of what this whole channel is about. I'm doing this research and showing people like, this is a realistic portrayal of what I'm doing. But along with that, the LS headers that go on this car that match Factory 5's exhaust system, I have a link for that in the videos below under engine parts. You know, this throttle body, that intake system, I have links for that in all my videos. And so if I'm talking about something specific, I'll put a link into it below. Now, you could actually click on that link and go buy something if you want. And do I benefit from it? Yeah, it's something like, you know, stupid, like 2% or something. But it helps support the channel. It's, you know, pennies on the dollar. But like, for instance, in the beginning of the Factory 5 manual, it has, here's all the tools that you need to build this car. Well, I've created a purchase list for all those tools. And we're not talking about Snap-on tools or something crazy that's thousands and thousands of dollars. I'm doing economical stuff that I think works well. A lot of that stuff I use. And so, you know, everything from all the glues you need, all the drill bits you need, all the tools you need, all that stuff, supplies, everything. That's in a link below. Click on that link and you can see everything. So instead of spending the 3 hours that I had to spend to find all that stuff, you could hit one button, it comes up, and then choose what you want to buy, what you don't want to buy, and you're good to go. So I'm just trying to save other people the same hassle that I had to go through myself. It's a different world today. Technology makes stuff easier, so I'm trying to make it easier for other people. And you know, if I make a percentage or something off of it, that's cool, but it helps support the channel. Obviously, I'm not really profiting from it, you know, because I spend more time editing videos and putting them up than I actually do work on the car. It's probably a 3-to-1 ratio, actually, which is pretty insane. And along with that, you know, I wanted to really say thank you to everybody for all the positive comments and, you know, having me as a part of the community and hopefully helping the community by showing people a realistic idea of what it takes to do something like this. You know, Factory 5 advertises this car to the guy that has a few tools at home that could build it in his garage. And that's exactly who I am, and that's what I'm doing. And so I appreciate all the support from everybody, everybody that has subscribed. You know, it just helps out, makes me feel like, you know, I'm doing this for a reason and that people are enjoying it. So hopefully this is, you know, one of many that will hit the channel. And so, you know, let's take that tour around the car and kind of show you where we're at right now. All right, as you can see, we got all our brakes, rotors, spindles, hub, shocks, A-frames. Got the engine in. We have, here's a, can we see it? You can see the new shims. I need to clean them up, but they're in there. That moved the engine forward, which is definitely in a lot of space back here, which is good. That gave us clearance of the transmission, which is good. But that's a 4L60 65E. We've got our air conditioning system. Now, what's really interesting is I would measure, when this body was off, I would measure the depth and everything of where this thing's going to sit. And I just did not see some of this stuff fitting. And this is barely fitting. I mean, it's right under there. But this now gives me a really good idea of how much space I have under here to put in all my computer components and power steering components and fuse box and such things like that. We have the body temporarily on because we need to get this rear exhaust system dialed in, match those up with the rear taillights, which of course you can see is nowhere in alignment, but the body's not officially attached yet, so I have to actually do that. But the gas tank's in, that's 100%. The panels are not 100% except for the one under the gas tank, that's permanently installed. And and excuse the dirtiness, I still got to clean the body that's been sitting in the backyard. It's pretty dirty, but it's coming together. You know, as I was mentioning, this used to come straight across on version 1, and it was really hard to get in and out of the car. But now, really easy to swing your ankles in and get inside that car. It's not a problem. So what's coming up is aligning the body, getting the tailpipes all figured out, getting a seat in here, attaching the gas pedal, which we have a newer style gas pedal for a new computer system that I'm putting in. And we figured everything out on the firewall yesterday. And so we're just going to keep going. And then I'm not sure if this body is going to come back off right now and do a bunch of other stuff, or it's time to start figuring out, you know, where the doors are and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not really sure about that. And I'm a little worried because the upper control arms that need to be replaced, which is these gray things right here, you know, if I have to drop the car on the ground to get the doors aligned and stuff. Well, if this is not in alignment correctly, then is it just the weight of the car needs to be on the ground for the doors to align, or changing the upper control arms is going to screw up my door alignments? You know, these are the things that I have no clue about because this is my first time doing it. So the other things that I haven't done yet is I haven't ordered my shifter for the transmission because I don't know exactly what height I want the handle at. And so once I get the seat in, I install the gas pedal, I get the trans tunnel in, I start kind of getting an idea of what's happening here. I will make a choice. I got a feeling it's going to be small because if you order, let's say, an 8-inch stick, I think the total length off the trans tunnel is like 12 inches. So I might be ordering like a 4 or 6-inch stick on that because I really want it kind of like, you know, where your hand would be right off the armrest. So we will see how that goes. But in general, everything's going well. I really appreciate all the support and everything, and hope everybody's liking the channel. And if you have any comments, you know, throw some comments below, and I'll see if I could, you know, add that stuff as we go through the process. Appreciate it, and have a great day.